Hello and welcome to this B1 Usability Package e-learning session. My name is Rasmus Wolf Jensen and today's topic is Toolbox, where we'll be looking into the business partner features of the Toolbox itself. So here we are in Business 1, but before we begin, let me quickly summarize what the Toolbox actually is. Well, the Toolbox is a module of Usability Package, and Usability Package have a lot of modules like function, buttons, item placement tool, mandatory fields and so on. Toolbox is where we store all the minor features that doesn't make sense to be a module by themselves. There's around 40 of them right now in the tool and are growing as more releases come along, and they are divided into different sections of sub-business 1. So for example, there's a section for business partners, there's a section for items, and so on. And in this first session, we will look at the business partner section. So in order to navigate to it, you go to Administration, Add-ons, Usability Package, Module Configuration, Toolbox Configuration. And the business partner is the first here. So we'll go to each function of it, and in later session we'll go to items, we'll go to documents, banking, financial, human resource and usability. So first up we have automatic numbers. Let me turn it on. And automatic numbers is what the name says. It is when I go to add mode on a business partner, it will automatically choose a number for me. And as you can see, it didn't choose a number for me. And that is because I need to choose the first number by myself, and then from that point it will automatically give numbers. So let's say that the first number I want to have is 1000 for customers. Say test customer 1, and let me try to add this. So now you can see, now it will give 1001, 1002, 1003 and so on. Leads follow the same series of numbers because leads in time becomes customers, while vendors will follow another series. So let's say that that should be 10,000. So please be aware of putting the two number series too close together, because you would end up with conflicting numbers. So now I have essentially limited myself to up to 10,000 business partners or customers. If I think that's too low, I should increase this as well, so I get enough numbers. So now I have two series, one for vendors and one for customers. Next up is auto zip codes. It is only something that are for certain countries. You will always be able to right click and go in and see which countries are currently supported. Right now it's Denmark, Norway and France, but we will increase them as we go along. And what they do is, if we go to a business partner, enter address and choose a country that's supported, for example Denmark. Then if I put in the zip code, like 8000, and go out the field, it will automatically know the city based on the zip code. Next is address copy system. If we turn that on, you will now be able to go to an address, for example this bill to address. And if I want to have that as a ship to address as well, I can simply right click it and say export address, go to the define new office ship to and say import address. and will give us the same name. It could be ship to. So it will automatically do this from either ship to bill to and the other way around. Next is use email button. Use email button is quite simple, just a button here. So if you put in an email, it will automatically launch that email in your default email program. So if I put in this email and press the button, it will in this case open up my Outlook. And another feature that most people don't know is if I have an email here, I can control double click it and the same feature will happen. It's for technical reason we can't put in a button here, but control double click and you get the same functionality. Next feature is use option to update payment terms on sales orders. So if we just have a look at one of our customers here, Machine Coloration, we can see they have a few open orders, and as you can see, one on these we have the payment term of 2p10 net days, similar for this as well, and so on. And what the feature allows us is that if we change this, they might need to go to net 30. During the update, it will now ask me if I want to update the 6 open sales order I have with the new payment terms, and I have the option to do that. And if we look again at the orders, we will now see that it now has the new payment term automatically. Next up is use valid federal tax ID check. This is something only working for EU countries, so please be aware if you're not in the EU, you might not be able to use this feature. If I now go to a customer in the EU, for example, these are from Denmark, and try to enter a federal tax ID that doesn't exist, like 12345, doesn't exist because a federal tax ID is always 8 characters long in Denmark, and press update. It checks now on a web server in the EU. And it found that the federal tax ID was not valid, so if I wanted to continue anyway, in this case I don't, then I need to find the correct federal tax ID. Next one is start a name. As you can see, when you open a business partner by default, it will start in code, and many times I need to go here in order to put in the name. So start a name simply does what it says. If we open up, you can now see it started the name and we are ready to search. Next one up is use hide from list. If we turn this on, you will see that on the business partner, let's find Norm Thompson here, we can set if that customer should be hidden from the list or not. If we say yes, and try to use it in a choose from list like that, you'll see Norm Thompson does not appear in the list, while if we don't hide him, like this, he will appear on the list. Use show only current users BP system is similar to the hide from list system, but what it does is it ties a sales employee and a user together. So if we go to setup general sales employees, here you are, And let's take Bill Levine and tell him that that is actually manager. We will now see that if we have different customers here, here we have Norm Thompson who is set to Bill Levine, but there's a lot of other additional that's not set to Bill Levine. So because we are logged in as manager right now, we will only see business partners here that is actually linked to Bill Levine. Every other would be filtered out. Next up is flags, and what they do is they simply give you an indication of where the customer is from based on what their bill to address is here, so US, and so on. And if you don't know the country of that country flag you see, you can simply click it and it will tell you down here what country it is from. Next up is go to new. So if we just try to add a new business partner here, test one, and press add, you'll see that the next step we are about to do is create a new business partner. But some people like that when they add a new one, it actually goes to that business partner as well. So if we activate the functionality, call it test 2, it was 1004, we say add, and you can see it ends up on that business partner. The control version is simply just that it only happens if control is actually pressed. So if I switch to add mode, put in test 3, does not hold down the control key while pressing add, it is ready to create a new one, while if I do the same, holding down add, it will be ready for the new business partner. Next up is activation of website with the show button. If we just activate it by itself, we will be able to go to a website like this by control double clicking on it. And if we activate the show button option, we'll just get a button next to it, so it's easy to do. Final option for business partners is use password generator with a button. If we activate it, we will see that next to the password field there's a new button. And if we go to a business partner who hasn't got a password yet, we can simply generate a password for them. We can choose the length of the password, say 8 characters. And if you already have a password, it will ask you if you want to generate a new one. So this is an 8-character password. So if you use the password and need to generate passwords for it, you have the option to do that now. So this concludes the first session. Next session will be on items. This concludes this session. For training material, please go to service.boyum-it.com/education. Or if you want a free demo of the product, go to license.boyum-it.com/b1up. If you want to contact us, you can do it either by our sales email or our support email. Thank you for attending.